Hello, everybody. It is going to be a late night book talk here on Andy Smith YouTube channel. So here we go. Okay, listen. Here's what I wanted to record tonight. This, and I know the majority of you out there want this. This is my review of the new Steven Erikson book, No Life Forsaken. I have finished it. I have taken a lot of notes on it. I've made a lot of tabs. I've thought about it quite a bit this month, but I just couldn't quite get to a place I wanted with my thoughts on the book in a way that I thought would be good to report to you, honestly. I'm just not in a place where I feel good about that review yet. So I have to quickly come up with another video to record to you because it has been a long time to record and I want to post a new video. This is me being completely honest, and I'm 1/3 of a martini in, so not that far, but maybe less edited than normal. So I thought I would talk to you about some books that I have collected in this past month because I need some opinions on them. Because none of these, with the exception of one, are books that I know 100% that I'm going to read someday, particularly this first set. So let's just get right into it. This is a trilogy that came into the bookstore that I'm somewhat interested in, but an author I haven't read before and is part of sort of the classic era of fantasy that I haven't read a lot from. So this is, let's see, what's the name of it? The Chronicles of the Derni, if I'm saying that correctly, by Katherine Kurtz. First of all, I think these are really, really cool editions. Whatever these happen to be are really, really great. And it's a trilogy, a finished trilogy that is, all these books are under 400 pages, but they really seem to have like a depth of story just from the way they're presented. I haven't read Katherine Kurtz. And again, sort of this classic fantasy feel I'm really interested in. They look great. They came in together. And they came in a donation that had a bunch of other works that I have read that I liked. Specifically, Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn was also in here. So I was like, okay, if you like that Tad Williams thing, and you like this, maybe this is something that I would be really interested in. So I need some opinions out there. Have you read Katherine Kurtz? Have you read The Chronicles of the Derni? The first book is Derni Rising. Was that how you say that? Derini? Maybe. On the back, it says, a sweeping tale of romance and sorcery set in the imaginary kingdom of Gwynedd, where the mysterious forces of magic and the superior power of the church combine to challenge the rule of young Kelson, who came to the throne when his father was brutally murdered by the sorceress Carissa. So that's like that's like a classic setup, but one that I can be really interested in. I like that, like, the power of the church is part of the story. So I'm interested in that, and I want someone out there to tell me if I should read it, or if I shouldn't, if they're really strong about it. But let me know thoughts on Katherine Kurtz and this series in particular. I realize I've been talking about Stephen King a lot because I had The Stand as part of my TBR list last month, but didn't read it. But two other like classic Stephen Kings came into the store this week, and they're like the classic editions that I really like of Stephen King. I don't really like a lot of the new editions. They're too clean. It and Misery. I think I will read these, but my question really always with Stephen King is I'm kind of have choice paralysis. Should I read Dark Tower? Should I read some of the standalones? I now have The Stand, It, Misery, and all of the Dark Towers that I need to read. I read the first one, The Gunslinger, but like all of the like thicker ones. And I'm kind of at choice paralysis where I want to read more Stephen King, but I don't know exactly which way to go. So I know there's a lot of Stephen King love out there. I want your takes in the comments below. Stephen King. And you should all be very jealous about these two editions I got. I'm really happy with them. I think they're very, very cool. Especially since both of these have had successful movies made out of them. Almost all of the editions for Misery or It that I have seen reference the movie, or with It like a TV show or something. And I love that these don't. They're just very simple covers that still sort of really emphasize the intensity of these books. So very, very, very excited to read these and terrified of it for sure. So this hardcover is a new book from an author this year. I didn't know about this work, but there was a new book from this author last year and the year before. Very prolific author. And the fantasy series of this author I haven't read, but I have read a standalone they did and absolutely loved it. I'll stop being annoyingly dramatic and tell you this is R.F. Kuang's new book, Catabasis, which weirdly I've heard not a thing about, and in fact didn't know about until I saw this, and I was like, R.F. Kuang has a new book, and it's another sort of magical realism book. I need to figure out if I like this, because as I said before, I loved Babel. Babel was one of my books of the year last year. I think it's fantastic. I know there's a far range of ideas on that, but I love Babel. I have not read Yellowface, and I have not read the Poppy War trilogy, but I'm really interested in reading more of Kuang. And since this book came in and it is a similar magical realism, I picked it up. Now, this came out in 2025. Why have I not heard of it? That makes me a little nervous. But if you have read it, let me know if you like it. The premise sounds great. It's very similar to Babel in the sense of it's like an academic setting with some magic in our world, just slightly switched a little bit. I think that's interesting. So this one especially, if someone tells me this is like the book of the year, or especially maybe I missed like a video, this seems like something Murphy Napier would read. I don't know, maybe not. That was like glowing. Direct me to it because that'll help me really pick this up. But I think I'm going to pick this up, but it's not often you get a hardcover new book from an author that you know you like. And I snagged it. There you go. Did it. As some of you probably know, if you watch my shorts, I was in Tokyo recently, which was an incredible experience. Highly, highly recommend the city. Absolutely gorgeous. Loved the country. Loved my time there. And as a memento, I wanted to add to my Lord of the Rings collection of books. You see up there, those two shelves are my Lord of the Rings editions. And for the first time, I'm adding a non-English version of the Lord of the Rings to my collection. Now, this is part 1 of Fellowship of the Ring in Japanese. And it was very difficult to find this in the bookstore I went in because the attendants, which is fine, did not speak English. And so I had to find the English in the English section, Lord of the Rings, brought it over and said this, in Japanese. And took a little while, but we did find it. And I'm so glad we did. Japanese is a beautiful language, but also this is such a unique thing for me to have in my collection. And I didn't actually realize this when I bought it because I knew I wanted to buy it anyway. I was a little disappointed at the plain cover, but I like that it still has the ring and the writing on the front. It's very recognizable while still also having, of course, the Japanese characters. Like there's no like just pictures of movies or whatever. But also inside there are these absolutely beautiful illustrations that they look like hand drawn. Of course they're hand drawn, but like just that someone is drawing this up as they're reading. There is at the Barrow Downs, I believe, the 4 hobbits. They're beautiful and they're really spread throughout really, really quite well. So I'm really proud of this now as part of my collection. You will see this probably in the backdrop of a lot of my books, or a lot of my videos, because I think it's great. I'm very proud of it. I'm embarrassingly holding it upside down. Now it's not upside down. Those are my recent additions to my collection. Let me know what you think. And especially Stephen King, let me know. Give me some guidance on what to read next. And again, the Katherine Kurtz Dilemma. Let me know if I should read these. I'm actually pretty excited to get to them. But if you're out there and you've read Katherine Kurtz, please let me know. There we go. It's a quick haul. I'll try to get No Life Forsaken out soon. As always, first in, last out.